All right, we just saw it, and we saw it be a 1 point decision. Georgia coming out on top 42 to 50, 42 to 41 over the Ohio State Buckeyes. So, what would Georgia and Ohio State be if they played to start the season on a neutral field? We sort of know now. Georgia would be about a 2 point favorite on a neutral field against the Buckeyes. That's according to some numbers from Bill Conley over at ESPN. He does a really good job with filling us with off-season fodder, to be honest with you. Make sure you're signing up for our newsletter. The link is down below. We talk about this and more over on Dog Post. Uh, look, I think it's hard to judge these things clearly, and these are sometimes stabs in the dark. Ohio State, according to Bill's numbers, are the closest. The Ohio State Buckeyes are the closest to Georgia of any team in college football, which I think is correct. We saw a season ago that was definitely correct, unless you're going to try to make the case for Missouri. Okay, Ohio State has the players, they have the support, they have everything that you need to really succeed at the big level. They just have not won the national championship with Ryan Day yet. I have talked about this a lot, and I don't think we need to hear Ryan Day discuss the loss to Georgia any further. I think that Ohio State will win the national championship with Ryan Day, but this past game against Georgia pulls me back from the edge a little bit, just because I thought that Ohio State could have closed that game out a couple of times. I thought the way that Ryan Day called the end of the game was just beyond curious, and I think that that gives me cause for concern. I thought Mark Richt would win a national championship at Georgia. It never happened. I thought Kirby Smart would at Georgia, and he did. I think Ryan Day will, but sort of the same doubts I started getting about Mark are what I'm having with Ryan Day, which is that it's not happened yet, first of all, and that's concerning. And now for Ohio State, more than that, this is becoming a rant about Ohio State. More than that, now they're behind Michigan, and that's concerning to me if I'm a Ohio State person or just an observer discussing these matters. But yeah, I think the two. I mean, Georgia. I think if you play that game 10 times, that Georgia probably wins it 6 or 7 times, something like that. And this was one of those 6 or 7 times that we saw. I think there are, and some Georgia people think it's more lopsided than that. Some people think that Georgia, if they play the Ohio State Georgia game, the Peach Bowl game, that Georgia wins it 9 out of 10 times, or that was Ohio State's best shot. I mean, we don't. I don't know the answer to that. I mean, I know that C.J. Stroud played really, really well. I know that this was as good as Ohio State's played. Probably in a 2 year stretch was their game against Georgia. So, but in terms of them being a 2 point dog to Georgia on a neutral field, we know that Georgia would not play in Columbus. It would mean they'd be about a 3 point dog in Columbus. That game will never be played in 2023. Same thing goes for the game we're in Athens. Georgia would be anywhere from a 5 point to touchdown favorite over the Buckeyes. So neither of those games will get played. By the time this game is actually played, we will have much more data on both teams. But I have to tell you, I think, too, it seems, I mean, it is going to be tight between these two. Maybe it's a slight bit lower than I would think it would be, with Georgia being perhaps a 2.5 or 3 point favorite. We Even with everything, these two teams lost a lot. When you look at, hey, by the way, listen, if you're picking up double dogs today, you're getting the confetti with it. If you don't pick up double dogs sooner than later, I'm not going to have confetti for you. I thought I'd run out. I didn't. I found a bag. But, like Stetson, see, I do not have an image of C.J. Stroud. This is Kenny McIntosh. You can't see it. Taken off in the first quarter. This game was epic. It was an epic game. And really, Ohio State came out fighting and really playing well. But the problem was they just got totally outplayed in the fourth quarter. Totally outplayed in the fourth quarter. How about this moment? You know what that is? So I thought Ryan Day just everybody, the thing about that week, and maybe I just don't, I could be. I mean, I get the feel of these games sometimes different than other folks. I remember all week, folks were talking about how Kirby and Georgia, or Kirby was tight. I didn't. I thought Ohio State was tight. I thought Ryan Day was the one that was a little bit, you know, that way. And I mean, I write about it in the book, and you can read about it there. What all Ohio State did and jumped the hoops they jumped through that were curious. But I didn't think Georgia was tight in that game. I think they just leading up to it. This was the discussion leading up to it. Now I don't know where folks kind of got that from. I mean, uh, there's a group of like I don't know, 10 people that cover Georgia. There's a couple of them I do not take seriously what they say or think in any way. I mean, because I just don't respect them. But um, I would have to ask the other guys if they felt like he was tight, but I don't care if they felt that way or not. I didn't see that at all. Um, and and unlike a lot of people, I went to all the availabilities with the exception of one Georgia availability, I think it was. So I didn't get the impression that Georgia was tight at all. I don't know where people came in with that. They did not play well, and it was not because they were tight. Um, I think that some of it was matchups with Ohio State. I think they did not play well because C.J. Stroud played well. Period. I mean, that's really what it was. And people will not stop talking about C.J. Stroud, and with good reason. I think he earned his way up NFL draft boards. He will probably be the second quarterback gone. The guy was spectacular. I mean, he was really, really good, period. And I've seen that before with Joe Burrow and Cam Newton and really good quarterbacks. Just in the Georgia time, the one that sticks out the most is Joe Burrow. Um, Tua and Jalen in 2017. These guys are NFL starting quarterbacks. And if you do not have an NFL starting quarterback, your likelihood of beating these dogs is not high. I mean, Mac Jones. Here are the people. I've done this a lot. The people that have beaten Georgia: Mac Jones, Tua slash Jalen, Joe Burrow was a couple of them. Kyle Trask, who was a very good quarterback at Florida, probably not going to be a starter in the NFL, but a really good quarterback there. CJ Stroud is totally in the mix with those guys. He's not Joe Burrow, but probably take him in front of Tua personally. Personally, I thought he was exceptional against the Dogs, and that was really a lot of it. And George, think, Kirby, like when Kirby's saying, "Hey, we want to get in condition. We want to get in condition. We want to get in condition." That's not stress. That's acknowledgement of the issue. I mean, they were worried, concerned about the pace at which Ohio State was going to play that game, and there was reason to be concerned with that. I mean, Ohio State tried to go fast. Um, and he, and and trying to go fast, they went fast on the last drive. At the exact time, it felt like this is the part that like concerns me for them and their future was, um, you know, the play calling at the end of that game was bad. It just was bad, and Stroud got him out of some jams. I think he had a 20-yard scramble, whatever it was. It looked like Georgia was going to lose the game at that point. And after they, turned around and won the game basically with A.D. Mitchell and Stetson and A.D. Mitchell in the corner. So I did not like the close to the game, and I did not. There were some things that if I'm Ohio State that I would want back, but that's not how it works. I mean, you're telling me that Georgia wouldn't want that one play against Alabama back in 2017. Here's AD making the game-winning touchdown. Ohio State could not stop them. That defense is a real problem there. And anyway, about a 2-point favorite Georgia would be. These two are going to be. People have said this about Georgia and Clemson. It's not happened, but I get the feeling that the Dogs and Buckeyes are going to be playing each other more often in the future. Now we're going to see how that progresses, but my suspicion is that they're going to play each other in the future in big games that matter. So you tell me right now, if they're going into the 2023 season, would you take Georgia -2, or would you take the Buckeyes +2 You tell me down below. Thanks for watching.